Hey, what's up guys? I'm Tom Holland, here at Facebook. Welcome to my chat show. These are my friends. This is, by myself. Just gonna talk to you guys for 20 minutes, I think, and answer some questions. So let's see what you guys have to ask. What is it like becoming the most iconic superhero of all time? Matt_IV23. That must be annoying when you say, go follow me, _IV23. That's a complicated name, Matt. But, whatever. It was great, man. You know, I mean, I've always dreamed of being Spider-Man since I was a little kid, and when this opportunity came about, it was a real dream come true, you know. And Marvel and Sony have been so great at making this whole process enjoyable and informative, and I'm really, really excited to show audiences what we've come up with. So next, how is it shooting the scenes with Michael Keaton? From Keshin. It was great, you know. Michael, I've always been a huge fan of his. I've loved his comedy that he's done, and it was very interesting for me to see Michael like really take on a character that's terrifying. You know, he really plays the character with menace, and it's very interesting to see him to do that. And it was great fun. We had a great time. So yeah. If you could design the suit, what would it look like? It definitely wouldn't be as tight, you know? I mean, I like the red and blue, I like the webs, I think it's great. But it wouldn't be a skin-tight suit, because in reality, like, that's the most... It's just not practical. It doesn't make sense. Like, why would you fight in a skin-tight Lycra suit? But it looks good, it looks great and stuff, and we actually came up with a very cool way of justifying how he puts it on so quickly, which you'll see when you see the movie. But yeah, I'd keep the same like color and design, but I'd make it like a hoodie or something. I wouldn't make it so tight. Yeah. What is the best advice you received when you got the role? That's a good question. You know, I think the best advice probably came from my dad. You know, he sat me down and said, son, look, your life is about to change, and people are going to start talking to you differently, and you are ruining my interview. No, yeah, he was like, look, your life's going to change, and people are going to treat you differently, but make sure you stay the same, and I constantly do the dishes at home, and have to do the laundry and stuff, so they keep me normal, you know, and that's the best advice that I get, and that's from my parents, yeah. That's so funny how you told us, don't log into the live stream because it will play live. The man who said it himself did it.
Yeah.
Okay. How long did it take you to get into character as Peter Parker? 20 years. Now, I've always loved Peter Parker, and I've always loved Spider-Man, so I've been playing him in my bedroom since I was a kid, you know. I've stood in front of the mirror and done poses and reenacted scenes from the previous movies and from the comics. So I've been doing this, I feel like preparing for this role since I was a kid. But when we were on set, obviously I have to do an American accent, so I tried to stay in the accent while I was working. And also in preparation, obviously he's a very physical character and he's flipping around all the time, so I did a lot of gymnastics training and we did lots of stunt training to make sure that we were... that I was at the top of my game. I actually have a super cool video that my stuntman made for me of me training, which I will release at the right time. I'm not going to show you now because the movie comes out in July and we're going to wait till July to show you. But it's actually really cool and you guys will love it. So moving on. How was working with Robert again? From RDJ's... so this is one of Robert's fans. Love you guys. Robert's great, you know. It's really fun to work with him, and he came at the perfect time. We were making the movie, and we were probably just getting into the last third of the movie, and you know, it's hard. You work 15 hours every day, and you're on set all the time, and it gets tiring, and the crew get tired. And he came and brought like a whole new burst of energy, you know. He lit the set up and really brought a lot to the movie, and we just had a lot of fun. In the trailer, you see it. All the stuff that we're doing in the trailer is basically improvised. And I love working that way, and so does Robert. And it was great fun to do that. It was really good. Have you ever been Spider-Man for Halloween? Now, a sad story is I've never really done Halloween properly. I think I've been trick-or-treating once or twice. But I've definitely gone to like parties as Spider-Man. I went 2 years ago to a fancy dress party as Spider-Man, but it wasn't a fancy dress party. I showed up and was the only person in fancy dress. Everyone was in normal clothes, and I was in a skin-tight lycra suit. So, you know, it was destiny. I got embarrassed, but now I'm Spider-Man, so who cares? But, okay. Was I nervous doing the flip on Jimmy Kimmel last night? Also, your flips are amazing on Instagram. Thank you, Mushroom Nikki. That's awesome. Another great name. Yeah, it was good, you know. It was my first time on a chat show. And they asked me to do a backflip in a suit which I couldn't really see out of. So I was a little nervous. It's been a while since I've done a flip. But the funny thing is actually as I was running into the studio with the rest of my fellow Spider-Men, I fell over. I literally, like, ate shit. Sorry, Sony. I fell over running into the studio. I'm getting bad looks. I'm being told off. I won't. Sorry. But it was great. I didn't land on my ass, and I landed the flip. And Jimmy was great. He was a really great host, and it was the perfect intro into chat shows. You know, it was good fun. But I brought my stunt double along just to make sure that everything was cool. But I did do the flip. It wasn't my stunt double. It was me. Okay, moving on. What did you do to train for the movie? You know, it was a really, like, great process. The training side of things was obviously going in the gym and getting into shape. I did this EMS training at this place called the Body Shape Studios, where you basically wear, like, almost like a wetsuit, and they put pads on you, and you work out while the pads electrocute you. And it sucks. It really, really sucks. But it kind of... I don't really know what it does, but it makes you in shape. It helps you get into shape. But you have to train on top of that, and it just basically speeds up the process. So it's like 20 minutes of, like, pure pain, but it works out to be really good. But then when I came out to Atlanta, I started training in boxing and training in the gym with my trainer and my best mate, Harrison. Shout out to you, buddy. Love you, man. But yeah, so I trained, but the coolest thing I think I did for the movie was I was enrolled in a high school in New York, in the Bronx, as a secret. Like, no one knew who I was or what I was doing. I had a fake name and a fake accent. I went to school for 3 days, I think, and it was really fun, you know. It was really interesting because New York high schools are so different to schools that I went to in London, where I went to a school where you have to wear a suit and tie and it's all boys. And for me, it was the first time I was in a classroom with girls. It was like a really strange experience. It was really fun. But and then I told one kid at the school, I was like, hey man, listen, I'm actually Spider-Man. Did not believe me. Was like, what? No. I was like, no, seriously, dude, I'm Spider-Man. Like, no joke. Like, let's not mess around anymore. I'm Spider-Man. He was like, I don't believe you. And at the time, I hadn't made the movie, so I didn't have any pictures to show him to prove that I was Spider-Man. And he did not believe me at all. And then this one girl, I was sat in class, and she was sitting next to me, and she was like, what's your deal, man? Like, why are you at our school? Like, this is a science school. You can't just enroll. Like, you have to come from the beginning. And I was like, oh, well, I have a secret. You know, I have a secret. And she was like, what? This guy's a freak. Like, what the hell? And I was like, yeah, I have. And then I started doing an English accent. I was like, I have a secret. I'm actually Spider-Man. And she was like, dude, you're nuts. You are literally the craziest guy I've ever met in my life. I was like, oh, amazing. No one believed me, which is actually a good thing. Because it makes me think that if Peter Parker went up in his school and was like, I'm Spider-Man, everyone would be like, nah, dude, no, you're not. No. I really went off track on that question, huh? I really went off track. Wow. Okay. What was the best part of filming? From Mary Keshmas. That's a good name. You know, I think the best part of filming was... that's a good question. I loved it all. I really, really had the time of my life on this movie. I worked so hard, but I just met some really good friends. I met really great people. Excuse me. And I just had a great time. I just really had a great time going to work every day, working with people that really wanted to make this movie as good as possible and very passionate about it. So it was just a real privilege to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning every day and go to work. But it was... trying to think the best day we had. The best day. I can tell you the worst day. The worst day was I was doing a scene with an actor who I won't tell you who he is, and I was in the Spider-Man suit, and it was at the very beginning of shooting, and I was in a harness, and I had to stick to the ceiling, and I didn't go to the bathroom for like 11 hours or something, because we didn't really figure out how to take the suit off quickly at that point. We didn't understand how it worked, and I was in a harness, and obviously it's hot, so I'm drinking water all the time, because I'm doing exercise and running around, but I need to go to the toilet, and I didn't go to the bathroom for like 11 hours, and that's an expensive suit. You do not want to wet yourself in that suit. Marvel and Sony would not be happy. So, that was the worst part of filming. Actually, I think the best day of filming was when we went to the children's hospital. That was the best day. We weren't filming, we had a day off, so we decided to go, Jacob, Harrison and I. But it made me realise that I've been given this opportunity to play a superhero, so I should try and be a superhero in real life, and go and see these kids and make a difference. And I was just talking to Sony about trying to do a premiere at a hospital, for the kids, and that kind of stuff I'm really passionate about, and it means a lot to me to try and help the kids, and I think that was the best day I had in Atlanta. What was it like putting the suit on for the first time? So, I put the suit on for Civil War, and because I was cast so late, I literally got cast on Friday and started shooting on Monday. So, it was such a fast process that they didn't have time to make me a suit, so I wore my stunt double suit, and he's bigger than me. He's about 5 inches taller than me. He's a bit bulkier than me, and when I first saw the suit, I asked him to close all the mirrors so I would see it for the first time on and looking great. I put it on. It felt pretty good. It felt good, but when I opened up the mirrors, it was saggy and it looked like a really sad version of Spider-Man. So it was not the most heroic Spider-Man you've seen, but it was definitely cool. It definitely looked cool, and now that it fits, it looks great. But on the day, I was very disappointed. It was the biggest anticlimax of all time. But now it looks great. What are your 3 favorite things about working with the cast and crew? From Brian Wood. I think it's a collection of that people are so passionate about making a good movie. People. I was worried that it was going to feel like a superhero movie. I was worried that it was going to be we'll breeze through this. We'll do that with the green screen. Don't worry. That will be CGI. Don't worry about that. That'll be fine. I was really happy that the director John Watts and the crew were really passionate about making everything as real as possible. And for me, that was one of my favorite things about the movie, that everyone was taking it seriously. I kind of thought that maybe people would take the piss a little bit and mess around. Sorry. I have strict instructions not to swear, but I'm from England. It's what I do. It's what we do. I should have a beer right now. No, I definitely shouldn't. But yeah, that was my first favorite thing. Second favorite thing is George Cottle. Shout out to you, buddy. He was the stunt coordinator on the movie, and he is the funniest guy of all time. I'm about to embarrass you, dude. I'm literally about to embarrass you so much. We have these things called shackles, right? Which is basically you wear a harness, and the shackle, you tighten to the harness, and that's what goes to the wires, which helps you fly around and look like Spider-Man. You basically have to tighten them up to make sure you're safe. And Huggins, who's our key rigger, who's one of the original Spider-Man doubles, did my shackles up one time. That sounds really wrong. And George came on to undo them, and he couldn't do it because he has really soft baby hands. He has really soft baby hands. And Harrison and I, every time we saw him, we're like, "Woo, hey George!" And he died laughing. That was the funniest joke on the set. His baby hands, I literally want to die laughing. That was such a good day. And then we actually had to do this thing where I had to dangle upside down and spin. And he span me so fast to just get back at me. But that was funny. So George Cottle, who's an amazing stunt coordinator, and he's incredible, has baby hands. Moving on swiftly. What is your favourite part of playing Peter Parker? the thing I like about Peter Parker is he doesn't take himself too seriously, you know? What we really tried to bring to the movie was a sort of young, fresh, unique version of the character in a sense that he really, really enjoys being Spider-Man, you know? I think if you were a teenager and you figured out that you had superpowers, that would be the best day of your life. And the interesting thing for us is starting off with that mentality and then slowly realizing that it comes with responsibility and there are consequences to being Spider-Man. So that arc that we came up with was something I really, really enjoyed. What's your biggest inspiration from Spider-Man? What's up, dude? I actually sent this tweet in myself. My biggest inspiration is myself. I don't know what my biggest inspiration is, you know? Because I have inspirations in different fields. I look up to boxers a lot, for their athleticism and their skill and especially their discipline. I look up to actors like DiCaprio and Jake Gyllenhaal and Denzel Washington because I feel they make great choices in their career. You know, they're actors that probably get offers every day and they make sure they do the work that they want to do, which is something I aspire to do, and I'm constantly on the phone to my agents about trying to find projects that I can be passionate about. And then on a sort of educational level, I don't really have one, if I'm honest. I don't really miss going to school. Probably Einstein. Guy's a genius. I don't know why I said that. Okay. My reaction when I landed the role, it was funny. So I was playing golf with my dad. I'd lost, which is a big thing in my house. And Dad and I play golf a lot. And if he wins, he has a great day. And I have a bad day. If I win, I have a great day, and he has a bad day. But I'd lost, and I was really upset, and I'd been waiting to hear from Marvel and Sony for like a month, and I'd been auditioning for 6 or 7 months, and it was crazy. 6 or 7 months, 4 months. It wasn't 6 or 7 months. This is exaggerating. That's what I do. I'm an actor. I pretend. And I saw on Instagram that Marvel were like, go to our website and find out who the new Spider-Man is. I was like, what? No. That's a joke. That's not true. So I got my computer, I was in my bed, typed in Marvel. It comes up. I actually have a screenshot on my phone of the article that they released. And I won't try and find it because I have so many pictures and we'll be here for days. But it said, like, we're really proud to announce that the new Spider-Man is Tom Holland and blah, blah, blah. And I, like, slammed my computer shut. I was like, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. This isn't real. This is fake. And then I read it again and was like, this is... Holy sh... I didn't swear. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy, this is amazing. And my poor dog was in my bed. Tessa was sleeping in my bed, and I was screaming and shouting, and she was terrified. Absolutely terrified. And I ran downstairs, and all my family were there, like, guys, I'm gonna be Spider-Man, And my brother Harry, who's kind of savvy, before freaking out, he was like, yeah, dude, they've been hacked. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, they've been hacked. They would ring you. Dude, they would ring you up and let you know. Like, it's not... They wouldn't just put it on Instagram. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of true. So I rang my agents, and then Kevin rang me and was like, hey, I just want you to know that we want to cast you as Spider-Man. And I was like, I know, Kevin. You put it on Facebook. Facebook are going like this. It's nearly over. So I've got Facebook in my head. Can we keep going?
Yeah.
We can keep going? This is really fun. I'm having a great time. Where was I in the story? I've told this story so many times. Kevin rang me up and was like, oh, we want you to know that you're going to be Spider-Man. I was like, I know, Kevin. You put it on Instagram. I saw. But yeah, it was crazy. I went nuts. And then literally in a day, I got like 100,000 followers and it was on the news and stuff. And the cool thing is that I found out before anyone else found out. I found out online, and then within an hour, it was on the BBC News. It was all over the internet. So I feel like I found out before the world did. So I kind of felt like I got a phone call, you know? But it would have been nice to have a phone call. No shade. Marvel and Sony. Love you guys. What are you most excited for fans to see? Now, that I can't tell you because obviously it's a secret and I don't want to ruin it for you. But what I can say is it's going to be so great. One of the surprises in the movie I think is so awesome and it's so fun. And it's such an interesting and different take on Spider-Man, and it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really, really cool. So I didn't actually answer that question, but whatever. How long can we do this for? I'm having like the best time doing this, by the way. You know?
Yeah, keep rocking.
I want my own show on Facebook. Let's make it happen. I could be like the first... Is there already a web chat show? Is that already a thing?
Not that's live.
It's happening.
Not with Spider-Man.
It's happening right now. We need a guest. We should do this with the cast. This would be really fun. How would you describe your take on Peter Parker in 3 words? Oh, okay. I got to think wisely. Think wisely. Think carefully about this. That's a tough question. Wow, I can't think. I literally can't think of words. Unique, adventurous, and they're the 2 words I would use to sum up Peter Parker. That's all you're gonna get. And really sexy. Oh, you can just tap it. I've been swiping it the whole time. I didn't know it was just a tap. Oh, okay, that's way easier. My favorite superhero growing up was Spider-Man. I've loved Spider-Man since I was a kid. I've dressed up as him since I was a baby. It's funny, my best friend Harrison loves Batman, right? He's obsessed with Batman. And for years, we have had an argument that who would win in a fight, Spider-Man or Batman. And the best thing is now is I can say, dude, I know that Spider-Man would win in a fight. And he's like, well, how do you know that? I'm like, because I am Spider-Man. I am. Like, I'm actually him, so I win. And then he's like, so you think you could beat up Ben Affleck? I'm like, nah, probably not. Probably not. That guy's big, I could probably throw a quick jab in there, but I probably couldn't even reach him, I mean, he's, what, like 6'4"? He's tall.
Yeah.
He's a tall guy. I'm a big fan of Ben's, though. I'm really excited for the new movie, man. It's going to be awesome. Will there be any breakdancing in the movie? And I'm a dope dancer. Thanks. That's really nice of you. No, there won't be. I wish there was, I really wish there was. Maybe we can work that into the second movie. I'll give you, @guys_us, a credit if we can get some breakdancing into the next movie. I will speak to Sony and Marvel about it. I don't guarantee they'll do... They don't really do as I say, I do as I'm told. But we can try. We can do this. Don't worry about it. Tap. Did training for Billy Elliot prepare you for this role? Absolutely. Working on Billy Elliot from such a young age was so valuable to me because it showed me how to work with adults and work in a professional environment, That was a show and a job that required a lot of dedication and a lot of hard work. And they really gave us the best training they could possibly have given us. So it's really been useful, not just for Spider-Man, but for everything else. For physicality, for other roles that I've played. But the gymnastics side of things and the dancing side of things was such a huge help. Because obviously I can do gymnastics. I've done gymnastics since I was a kid, and I can do certain flips. And it really helped the stunt team because we were able to make fight sequences and design fight sequences that I can do myself. And I was very passionate about making sure I did as much as I could. There was a few things that I couldn't do. There was like some time where they dangled my poor stunt double under a helicopter and dunked him in a lake. Damn it. This is live, isn't it? Damn. So at one point, Spider-Man ends up in a lake. I'm going to get in so much trouble now. Oh, no. But yeah, and I was like, let me do it. And then when I saw him do it and get dunked in the lake, I'm so happy I let him do that one because that was the scariest thing I've ever seen. Can you imagine flying under a helicopter and being dunked in the lake? I mean, I don't get paid enough for that shit. Sorry, again. I can't help it. I'm sorry. What did you and your co-stars do for fun after shooting? We had a great time after shooting. Marvel and Sony were great. They gave me this super cool house to live in, right? We had like a pool and a cinema room and like a huge living room with a giant TV and stuff. So after shooting, all the cast just came to my house and we'd like chill in the pool. We had a diving board and we did those like trick shot videos, which I actually put up online and put a picture up of my house Well, it's not really my house, the place I was staying. And then the press were like, oh, we know where Tom Holland lives. And it was like my first week in Atlanta, and Marvel were like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? We literally have just bought this amazing house for you, and you're ruining it. So I had to take it down, but we had a great time. We had a great time messing around, watching movies. So we had a movie night. John gave us a list of, I think it was 10 movies that we were supposed to watch. We only watched 2. But everyone came to my house and we just watched movies all the time. We swam in the pool and just messed around. It was good fun. It was kind of like a frat house at one point. You know, it was kind of nuts. But we were very professional. Went to bed early on a work night. I actually did. As soon as I got home, I fell asleep. I didn't even eat most nights. I came home and was like, straight out. Okay. You were so many hilarious... Oh, I wear so many T-shirts in the film. Which is my favourite? My favourite T-shirt in the film? God, I can't even remember now. It's funny. I tried on thousands of different outfits. Thousands. A couple hundred different outfits for Spider-Man. We agreed on like 20, and then when it came to do the movie, I wore stuff I'd never seen before. It was a completely new outfit. But my favourite T-shirt, I had a T-shirt which said, you rock, and there was like a rock, and then you rule, and then there was a ruler. And one of my best friends, Fox, from Billy, had the same T-shirt when he was a kid. So I had like a connection with that T-shirt. That's a good question, though. I would never have thought to ask you a question like that, you know? What kind of music does Peter listen to? Old country music. No, I don't know. God, I should know that, though. I think sort of like the indie pop scene, you know? He likes... I think he's a fan of... who sings Left Hand Free? Alt J.
Yes.
He's a fan of those guys, you know, that sort of music. Describe Spider-Man. Do I have to get on a plane home, right? I'm going to make that. Yes. I'm not missing my flight. Okay, I really want to see my family. I don't want to miss my flight. As much as I love talking to you guys, I'd also like to talk to my family at some point. But no, I'm good to keep going. If I can keep going, 2 more questions. Okay. Well, let's make sure it's a really good question. Well, let's do this. Let's mess with this a little bit. Let's do truth or dare. The silliest thing you have an emotional attachment to. That's a good question. The silliest thing I have an emotional attachment to. I don't actually know. I'm going to skip that question. The most exotic food I've ever eaten is a rat in Bangkok, in Thailand. It was disgusting. I'll never do it again. It was a mistake. I spent 3 days on the toilet. Let's just put it that way. It was literally the worst 3 days of my life. It looked pretty cool though, like a rat on a stick. It was kind of cool.
Seasoned?
Well, you know, he put it on the fire and cooked it. It wasn't like he just picked the rat up and was like, hey, eat this. Like, it was cooked. But it was not good. It was not good. If I could star in any remake of any movie, what would it be? Right, now I'm going to start my campaign for me to be the new James Bond. I would like to be James Bond one day. Let's say 10 years' time. Let's make it happen, Sony. Let's go. Anyway, I've got to wrap it up. It's been great. Thank you, Facebook, for having me. I hope to come back soon. It's been really fun. And the trailer. Good point. Check out the trailer. You're going to love it.